everybody. Good morning. This is Jean here from Truelove Quilts for You. I'm not tired. I had a lovely weekend. I had a lovely rest. But if you've been following me, you realize that I was very tired making this particular quilt that I've started. I was so tired, but I thought I want to make a very easy quilt, and that's exactly what this is. I'm not finished it, but I just thought I was explaining I might actually put a border around this quilt. It's a very large quilt, and so I may or may not. But I ordered I think a yard and a half, 2 yards of fabric, and it hasn't come yet. But I thought I'd just show you my progress so far. And this video is actually showing how I'm chain piecing my blocks together. Simple block. But it's boring, so I sped it up. On my movie editing thing, you can speed it up. It's not like a video. I don't know. This is Windows Live Movie Maker on my computer, and it's sort of jerky, 8 times faster. Some of them are really smooth when you see those fast action ones. Mine's not like that. So I apologize, but it was boring. So I thought, you don't have to sit through watching me chain piece. You get the idea. This is the block that we were making, if you remember. Used quite a lot of fabric, actually. I used a charm pack, which is 42 5-inch squares, and a jelly roll print, which is 42 2.5-inch strips. And then I used almost 3 yards, like 2 3/4 yards of white fabric, 2.5-inch strips I cut from white yardage for this. And this block, as you've been following along, this block has the print, the white, and the print, the charm square print. And then the next block, 2 blocks, is the white, the print, and the print. So it's just alternating. 6 blocks across, 7 rows down. All I'm going to do now, so I have print, white, print, white, print, white. So now all I'm going to do is I'm going to sew my blocks together and then sew my rows together. But when I was laying it out in my dining room, which you'll see, that was I was in my dining room laying it out on my table, because I have my dining room table is large enough to lay out this quilt. It wasn't even actually large, because this is a large quilt. I recommend a design wall, as I was saying. Just push pin a piece of batting temporarily up on your wall. I have no walls. All my walls are taken with stuff. My whole house, I have stuff, so I have no walls. So I have my table. But I just picked up. I laid out my layout that was pleasing, and then I just started with row 1, and I put my first block over here on the left-hand side of my quilt. I put that on the top. And then I just pick them up, and if you notice, here's my 6 blocks that I will sew together, and then I attach them with safety pins. So I have one row, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's how I keep track. I'm sure all of you have a certain way to keep track of your blocks. These are my blocks, these are my rows. So I'm going to just throw this up on YouTube now. And then when I do get the border fabric, which I ordered it, this is a line, of course, from the designer. So I just ordered my fabric. I just picked out, I forget which I picked out, one of these prints. I may put a border. I was saying I like borders on quilts. But as of now, my next step, in the next few days, I'm going to sew my blocks together, sew my rows together, wait till the fabric comes, and then I may or may not attach the border. And then just find a backing, pull from my backing fabrics here, and then quilt it. Just a simple quilting. So that's what I'm doing today. I just wanted to let you know that I'm not tired. Bear, the dog, Bear's dog sitting. She went walkabouts. She's half wolf, and she took off last night at like 9 o'clock. So my husband and our other son was riding around the neighborhood calling for this dumb dog. Bear, Bear. She took off in the woods, and it was our fault. Our side gate was left open. And on her property, she has an invisible collar. And so they have like 6 acres. She stays on their property. but we live in more of a development, and she wanted to go walkabouts. So she came, she was in the woods playing. She finally came after a while, but dog sitting, ugh, my word, and pig sitting. I gotta go feed the pigs. The pig, they have one pig. So as I was saying, they're sunning themselves on a beach, and I'm feeding their pig and chasing after their dog. What mothers won't do. Anyway, that's my day. I have things I better do some laundry and some food shopping. Who needs to eat? Who needs clean clothes? I want to sew. But, yeah, I just thought I'd throw up the progress of my quilt so far. So nice little blocks, easy for you beginners if you wanted to try it. You have what's needed. And, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So anyway, have a lovely day, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Bye. So I'm working on my quilt blocks here. I've rested, I've had my cup of tea. And you must excuse me for my other video. I was laughing. Anyway, I'm working on my quilt block, which actually is turning out. Let me just show you. Let me just show you what I've accomplished so far. I've done all these. They end up, let me just see. Yeah, 12.5 inches. 12.5 inch block. It's a nice big block. So, as I was saying, if you didn't understand my rants before, I've used one charm pack, which is 42 blocks, and one jelly roll. And then I've cut 2.5 inch strips from a yardage I have. Quite a few. So these are my blocks that are this configuration. The jelly roll, white, print, white, print. So print, white, print. Then I'm going to be doing print, white. But right now, I wanted to just show you how I'm piecing this. I was chain piecing all of this lot with the white, okay? You saw me chain piece this. I went right the way down, and then I turned it around, and I did the exact same thing on the sides. I could chain piece the white. Now, though, because it's all the same fabric, and I could just thread all my whites in there. But now, since I have to frame one block with one jelly roll, I have to start and stop. So I've already done this one. Now what I'm doing is I'm aware when I pull from my blocks here, I'm aware of putting the seam on the side that so I'm attaching my next piece, so it's seam there. Do you understand? Like almost a quilt top. These are the side borders. This was the side border, and I'm putting another side border on instead of putting it on the length. I wouldn't start here. I'll show you. So that's that. I'm going to put that. So this is one. So I'm going to pull from my blocks here. Let me put this over there. And so here's my block, and here's my seam. So now I want to piece over here. So I just pull random. I'll use this one. And what I've learned is this jelly roll piece here, as you know, they all have the selvage. I hope this is, yeah, I hope it's okay in the frame. It has the little dotted selvage, and then it has the selvage with the white. Well, this block, once it's made up, let me just grab one here. You're using almost the entire jelly roll. So you have to be very careful. I actually start, these 4 pieces are one strip of jelly roll. So I have 42 blocks and I have 42 strips. But you have to be very careful or you could run out. You can't run out but it's to the absolute minimum. So what I do is I'm just going to start right at the white. Right, I'm going to, that's starting there. Right up there at the white, and I'm just gonna. I have actually taken this block over and I've pressed it real well. Now I'm gonna pull this out. Excuse me. I'm gonna pull this out, and very carefully now I'm going to cut straight. I'm going to flip it around like that. Just sort of finger press that across. And then again, my 1/4 inch seam right down the side there to the end. So you have to keep doing this. You have to keep cutting it because there's no way you can chain piece this. Now I'm going to come right back up here. Finger press that to the dark side. Finger press that to the dark side. And then this goes right up to the top there. Match the sides up. Oops, that popped off. Right to the end. And then you should just have enough. This I am being careful. You should just have enough. Finger press this up. Finger press this back down. And then put that right up at the top. We should just have enough. Oops. Just have enough of the dotted selvage. And if you can see that, the dotted selvage is actually will almost be in the seam allowance. But if I had started with the white, or if I had started with the dotted selvage and then ended up with the white, I would have had that big hunk of white there. So that dotted little bit of selvage will be in the seam allowance. So I'm okay with that. But you have to be very careful because look at that. One jelly roll one jelly roll strip. That's one whole block. And this is, again, as I say, actually this is a 13-inch block. So I've just, it's a nice big block. Made in this configuration, a 5-inch square, a 2.5 inch, and a 2.5 inch. So it's a 13-inch raw edge, finishing at 12.5 inches. It's a nice big block. So it's awesome. I thought it was 12.5 inches. So these are my blocks. Now what I'm going to be doing is these are all my blocks. They're really pretty. I press all of them. What I've done is I'll come over and I'll just very carefully set these seams. Can roll this one over, set that one nice, set that one, and then I'll just as I've done, I'll just roll that up and press it right up to the dark side. Press these over and press this back down, and I have a nice big block. So then what I will do, and I've made 21, I just have to finish up these configuration, and then what I'll do is I'll take this one, and I will then, as I was showing you in my other video, I will then do the print on the print, and then the white on the outside. Hi everybody. Good afternoon. This is Jean here on a rainy Sunday afternoon. What I'm going to be doing, I'm in my dining room actually, because I'm finishing up my blocks here. Now, as you know, I've made 21 of each block. This is the block that I was working on. Very simple, easy quilt block. It's a charm square print with a white 2.5-inch strip and then a jelly roll 2.5-inch strip print for half of them, and then the other half are the charm square. You can't really see this one. A charm square print, the jelly roll print, and then the white that I've done. These have made up into a huge block. It's a 13-inch block. And why I'm in my dining room is I figure I'm going to be making, I have to lay them out. And I could pull them random or, and like lay my 6 blocks across 7 rows down. But I like to get some semblance of order. My table's not big enough. So what I'm going to do is I'll just start. I think it's long enough, but I'll just start pulling random. And what a design wall allows you to, or a design table allows you to do. I have to overlap them, which is fine. It allows you to see, like you don't want 2 blue next to each other, or two red next to each other. So you want to change it up. Nicely. And a design table or a design wall allows you to do that. Now, I was saying in another video that a design wall it doesn't have to be permanent. It can just be a piece of batting pushed pin to an empty wall. I have no walls. even if I wanted a design wall, I don't have any walls to push pin anything to. I've pinned a lot of stuff to my walls, so I have to use my tables and use more of a flat surface. But by all means, you people who have walls, to make your quilt, to design your quilt and to lay your quilt out nicely, it's advantageous to have something that you can refer to and move your blocks around. And so that's what I'm doing. So I'm doing a print, white, print, white, print, white. Just changing it up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So here's my top row. I quite like that. And again, oh, my chandelier. Again, I'll just mix it up. Like there's 2 greens over there. I'll put that there. And I'll just continue laying out my blocks. I can make the 6 across and my 7 down, and yeah, this was a fun block to make. Oh, I'm looking at this block. Look at that. They're actually made like a little mini quilt top. You know, like when you make a quilt, you have the body of your quilt, and then if you're going to add borders, you add one on side, one on this side, and then the top and the bottom. So this block was made just like that. So I have, and as I was showing you when I was actually constructing it, here's the body, as it were. Here's a side border and a top border. Then I came back and I did a side border and the final top border. So when you're actually sewing them, you don't want your seam, you don't want this, you either want your long borders together, as it were, see? Or you want your seamed units together. But you want to try to be consistent, whichever way you want. I'll probably do it because it's a bit easier. It's not easier because either way you're going to have to match the seams up. But just lay them out. You just want to be a bit more consistent. When you're looking at the quilt as a whole, you're not really going to notice that. But if you go up close to it, you will notice. You want the seams, whichever way is pleasing to you, to all run the same way. So I'm just going to continue doing my blocks here, but a bit of red. Now this Jelly Roll and Charm Pack was brown, green, yellow, reds, tans. So I want an even, and a bit of maroon. So I want an even bit all over, all over. Oops, there, see, that's there. So a bit of let's see, I'll put a bit red over here. And then, so this is why it's really nice to have a design table or a design wall to lay out your quilt blocks. It's much easier. I think it'd be much easier. I've never had a design wall. I think it'd be much easier to actually be able to do this and see it vertically. But this is what I have to work with. So this is what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to continue this, laying it out. And then what I had done though is this is a big quilt. I always make big stuff. I'm big, my family's big. It's funny. I actually did get I ordered it. I've just ordered it from, I think I got this from Missouri Star. I ordered a 2 yards or something, or a yard and a half for a small border to go around it in the coordinating fabric. This is the Fig Company, Hazel and Plum, the designer line. It's real pretty. So I thought, oh, I don't know if I just like it this way. I like to border a quilt, even if it's a small border. So I just quickly went online and I ordered, I think maybe 2 yards to do a border, because it's a big quilt. This is a big quilt. But I'm not sure if I just like it just the blocks. But if I don't, if it's good, I'm going to make the quilt up with the blocks. And I may or may not add the border, but I'll show you that as I go along. So I'm just going to start. I'm going to keep going along, making sure what we want is a pleasing arrangement. Yeah. So a bit of green. So you want it. That's why it's important to as you're going along, lay everything out. Because then all of a sudden you're like, oh no, you have 2 browns together. It's no big deal. But if you have a large table or a wall, it's nice. So okay, I'm going to just finish up here, and then I'll probably continue with making my quilt, and I'll show you. Okay, thanks.